Welcome back to Gladiators of the Cage. Chris Shovlin, Cody Tuttle, Brian Fyock, and Jessica Evil Eye, women's professional MMA fighter, all here on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. And up next, it's Michael Bosiljevac and Derrick Bradley II. And this should be another interesting match. We've seen some great fighting so far tonight, guys.
Yeah, and I think we've got another exciting one coming up. Michael Bosiljevac was involved in a great battle with Jeremy Sakuda at the last event, and Derrick Bradley's always ready to throw hands.
Derrick Bradley loves to use those hands, doesn't he? He's from Chester, Pennsylvania, an independent MMA fighter. Derrick Bradley walking into our venue here tonight, Stage AE in Pittsburgh, PA.
He likes to throw hands, but recently he won in the Kumite in a no-gi grappling tournament.
Yeah, the Kumite Classic's been a staple of Pittsburgh martial arts scene for a long time. Over in Monroeville at the Convention Center, probably going on over 10 years now, and he recently competed in the no-gi jiu-jitsu tournament and won his division.
Looks like he's feeling pretty good tonight. He's feeling the music here.
And you're right, Cody Tuttle, that would be the Kumite.
Derrick Bradley dances into the cage. And now being called into the arena, Michael Bosiljevac out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Trains with Team AMS.
This really could be interesting. If Derrick Bradley likes standing up, Bosiljevac is a Golden Gloves boxer. He's going to be looking to throw some leather too. So, you know, we could have a war of attrition on the feet.
Now let's take a look at the matchup. Bosiljevac, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 185 pounds, a record of 0-1, 69-inch reach. And Derrick Bradley at 5'11", 185 pounds, 0-7 so far, a 70-inch reach.
I know I don't want to be partial tonight, but I might just be looking for Bradley to try to pull off a victory tonight at 0-7. That's tough.
Yeah, you know, he's had that success in local grappling. You know, hopefully he can finally put it all together and bring home the win inside the cage.
There's got to be a winner and a loser, and we'll see if Bradley's able to pull it off tonight.
Bosiljevac being checked out, gets permission to climb into the cage now. Let's go to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 5th fight of the evening, and he's also in the amateur division, calling for 3 two-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 0-7. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, and he weighed in at 190 pounds. He's an independent fighter from Chester, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Derrick Flash Bradley II. And his opponent, he has a record of 0 wins, 1 loss, 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 188 pounds. Another fighter from Team AMS. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Michael Bosiljevac.
Big response from the crowd for Bosiljevac.
TAMS well represented here tonight. Another fighter from their camp.
Bradley coming all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tough to fight against the hometown crowd. Bosiljevac's got a lot of fans here with him tonight.
Yeah, this is an away game for Derrick Bradley. We'll see how he handles the pressure. He's definitely got height. We'll see if he uses it. If he fights tall, fights with reach. Bosiljevac looking to come in aggressive already with strikes.
Attacking the neck right off the clinch. Let's see if we can finish the standing guillotine.
It's fairly tight. If you're going to attempt that submission, you want to do it right now when you're as dry as possible. That's only going to get tougher as the fight goes on.
It's risky, too, because in order to lock it up, you've got to go down on your back, giving up the top position. But Bosiljevac let him get right back up to the feet. Bosiljevac going for a guillotine of his own. Bradley falls back to the guard to escape.
1 minute left in round one.
We'll see if Bosiljevac stands back up. Last time he stood up and invited Bradley back up to the feet. It looks like he's definitely got a striking advantage. Bradley, I don't like how he walks. He walks, you know, just from left to right. Not looking really crisp on his feet, just kind of walking.
As soon as Bradley threw up that triangle, Bosiljevac used that as a way to escape and just jump back up to his feet.
Huge right hand by Bosiljevac. Wow, I'm not sure how Bradley's still standing up after that one. That was a big shot.
Bosiljevac now going to the body as well, as we have 20 seconds left in round one in our Lojax Yamaha round clock.
Bosiljevac looking for a takedown. Uncharacteristic since he keeps standing up as soon as he gets the fight to the ground.
Bosiljevac's corner is screaming at him to not go for the takedown, to back off and just beat him up on the feet.
Here comes the horn. End of round one.
I think Bosiljevac's going to hear from his corner here.
Here's the first attempt at a guillotine in this match that we saw in this first round. This is early in the round, too.
Yeah, right off the bat, Derrick Bradley snatches up that guillotine, and it looks like it's pretty tight standing. But as soon as he fell back to the ground, it loosened up, and Bosiljevac escaped.
Not a bad tactic when you're the taller guy. You can pull off that standing guillotine, really cinch it in there tight, but wasn't quite able to do it.
Yeah, you can use your length as leverage to finish that submission.
You mentioned doing that early is an advantage because once you get sweaty, forget about it. You're going to slip out of that, right?
Yeah, guys just slip right out. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier with all this heat and humidity that we've been experiencing in the area. Will guys get sweatier faster? And if you're going to try the guillotine, 10 seconds in is probably a pretty good shot.
Ready for round two. Look at Derrick Bradley out of Chester, Pennsylvania. Chip Snyder checking the cage and says, let's go.
I believe the corner of Bosiljevac wants him to keep it standing. He was having good success, landing good shots against Bradley. Bradley, he crosses his feet. He does some things in you wouldn't normally see in boxing. A couple of fundamental issues, and he's taking shots now from Bosiljevac.
Bosiljevac landing a lot of damage there. They both kind of just fell onto the ground. Bradley was able to lock up his guard.
Bosiljevac, he's a shorter guy, so it's hard for him to fight tall. And then as he's coming in, he's hampering his own strikes because he's really coming in close. If he stayed just a half a step back, he might be able to continue landing strikes as opposed to just bull rushing straight in. We'll see if he tries to employ a more, you know, strategic discipline tactic in that way if they stand back up.
Bradley's using head control to keep Bosiljevac's posture down, but not a whole lot of offense, so Chip Snyder stands him back up.
Great boxing trainer Teddy Atlas talks about not smothering yourself in your punches. You got to fight tall, got to use the space well, and you don't want to smother your own punches. Really become an enemy against yourself.
Bradley initiating a takedown, gets his head caught by Bosiljevac in that guillotine, and Bosiljevac finishes it right up against the cage.
That's it.
Well, he didn't have to worry about going back to striking because he caught that submission. The same way a tall guy can do a standing guillotine, if the shorter guy gets the tall guy folded up against the cage in that guillotine, it's tough.
Let's take a look at some of the punches that we saw.
Bradley charges in.
He just tried to take it down right there, didn't he?
Yeah, he charged in, tried to close the distance, but Bosiljevac hit him with some big punches, and then they fell down to the cage floor.
And the guillotine.
Bradley charging in again, and Bosiljevac not letting him capitalize on that mistake. Latching onto the head and using that pressure of the cage against Bradley's back to finish the choke.
Well, so Bradley still remains winless. Michael Bosiljevac goes to 1-1 now.
A guy that's 0-8, you have to ask if the commission's going to continue to let someone like that keep going. They have a heart to fight. They want to compete, but got to wonder how long you keep going.
And fighting as an independent, too.
Yeah, you got to wonder what kind of changes Bradley's going to make to his game coming in for his next fight if he fights again.
Let's go to Dan Bogan, our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner via tap out, courtesy of the guillotine choke at 1 minute 19 seconds of the second round. Fighting out of the red corner from Team AMS, Michael Bosiljevac.
Cool. Michael, fantastic job tonight. Improving now to 1-0, getting that submission. How do you feel right now?
Good, because I never thought I'd get a submission ever.
Now, what did you prepare leading up to this fight that would help you get a submission like that?
Just working on my ground game in the gym with Josh and Justin.
Awesome. Well, great job. Improving to 1-1 now. Great job. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank everybody from the gym, Team AMS, and my family and friends for coming out.
Awesome. Great job. Chris, back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you much. Michael Bosiljevac, Team AMS, Pittsburgh, PA, the winner of that match by a tap out. Coming up next, it'll be Sekula and Wright as we continue on at Gladiators of the Cage.